Today we're answering the question nobody asked. How would you survive Left 4 Dead's cut special infected if they were real? The Screamer. The Screamer is a straitjacket-bound infected who wanders aimlessly until he spots you. Then, he does the opposite of what almost every other infected does. He runs away, just like the fallen survivor. If he manages to hide successfully, he lets out a scream that summons a horde to your location. He was cut because chasing him through crowds of zombies was too frustrating in gameplay. Okay, real talk, the Screamer is actually one of the easier cut infected to deal with in real life. Here's why. First off, he's wearing a straitjacket. That means his arms are completely restrained. He can't grab you, can't scratch you, can't bite you unless you literally put your face next to his mouth. He's basically a running alarm system with no offensive capabilities. Your primary goal is simple. Don't let him scream. The moment you see a guy in a straitjacket running away from you, that's your cue. You need to take him down fast before he finds a hiding spot. In real life, it highly depends on the situation. If there are no other infected around, it would be super easy to deal with him. The Screamer would be running through the same obstacles you are: debris, abandoned cars, rubble. A guy in a straitjacket can't use his arms for balance, can't climb obstacles, can't even open doors. He'd be tripping constantly. Your best bet? Ranged weapons. A gun is ideal. One shot and he's done. But even a thrown object could work. Remember, he's restrained and off balance. A well-aimed rock to the back of the head could drop him. If you're in decent shape, you could probably just chase him down. His mobility is severely compromised. Still, be careful though. We already talked about the fallen survivor, and just like him, the Screamer may accidentally lure you into dangerous situations while just running away. However, if there are other infected around who are actively attacking you, this becomes incredibly difficult. You're getting swarmed and distracted by zombies who are, on their own, already extremely dangerous to deal with. Left 4 Dead zombies are fast and aggressive. Now, in the middle of this chaos and panic, you have to spot the Screamer among the crowd, focus on him specifically, and bring him down. Either by chasing him through the horde or landing a precise gunshot. But hitting a moving target while you're in a full-blown panic, getting grabbed and clawed at, that would be difficult for trained soldiers. But for average people who've probably never even held a gun before, nearly impossible. So if he does manage to scream before you stop him, well, now you're dealing with a horde situation. Time to fall back to standard horde survival tactics. Get to high ground, create a choke point, don't get surrounded. The Screamer himself is no longer a threat once he's screamed. He's done his job. C tier. The Leaker was designed to plant himself into the ground like a landmine. When survivors walk over him, he explodes and deals massive damage. The Leaker is interesting because he's entirely defensive. He can't chase you, can't attack you directly. He's literally just waiting for you to make a mistake. In real life, the Leaker would actually be less effective than in the game. Why? Because you're not forced to walk through narrow video game corridors. You have an entire world to navigate. If you see a weird infected buried in the ground ahead of you, you know what you do? You just walk around him. Take a different street. Go through a building. There's no invisible wall forcing you into his blast radius. But let's say you're in a situation where you have to pass him. Maybe you're in a narrow alley, or he's blocking the only exit. Here are your options. You could shoot him from a distance. He explodes? Great. You're far enough away that the blast doesn't reach you. Problem solved. Alternatively, you could throw something at him. A brick, a bottle, anything to trigger him remotely while you're behind cover. And if you have absolutely no weapons and can't wait, use the environment. Knock over a dumpster, push a shopping cart, create a rolling obstacle that triggers him while you stay back. The real danger with the Leaker is if you're running away from something else. Maybe a tank is chasing you, and you accidentally step on a Leaker in your panic. That's when he's lethal. But in a calm, aware state of mind, the Leaker is one of the easiest cut infected to deal with. C tier. Hellhog, a zombified boar with decayed flesh, glowing red eyes, and massive tusks. He charges at survivors on sight, similar to the Charger, but likely with less force. You know what's great about the Hellhog compared to every other infected we've covered? He's not human-sized. He's a boar. That means he's low to the ground, maybe 3 feet tall at most, and he moves in predictable, straightforward charges. Basic matador tactics apply here. Think bullfighting. When the Hellhog charges, you wait until he's fully committed to the charge. Boars can't turn quickly once they're moving at full speed, so you step to the side at the last moment, let him run past you, and then attack while he's recovering and turning around for another pass. Now, this is an infected boar, which means his bite is probably highly infectious and he's hyper-aggressive, instantly charging at high speed and always attacking. You can't scare him off or intimidate him like you might with a regular wild boar. There's no strategy, no caution, no self-preservation instinct. He just charges blindly and relentlessly until either you're dead or he is. You have to kill him. There's no other option. Get to high ground. Even though Left 4 Dead's zombies are remarkably good at climbing, even a mutated zombie boar shouldn't be able to climb. Climb onto a car, a dumpster, a fence. He can't reach you up there, and you can shoot down at him easily. Spears or polearms work perfectly. This is literally how humans hunted boars for thousands of years. Plant the spear, let him impale himself on his own charge. Firearms are effective too. Any gun will work. Aim for a clean, straight shot to his head while he's running towards you. Try to keep calm, because if you miss and he reaches you, his tusks could lethally wound you. Use obstacles to your advantage. Lead him into tight spaces where his bulk works against him. The tusks are dangerous, but only if he connects with the charge. His attack is entirely frontal. He can't strike to the sides or behind. Circle around him, and he's helpless. Infected animals in the Left 4 Dead universe would be an interesting topic for another video. Theory suggests that the virus came from livestock. We know that a zombie dog was considered as an idea, and we see cows in various levels, all potential threats to deal with in this infected world. B tier. The Claw. The Claw is a fast, silent infected that clings to ceilings, waiting to snatch survivors from above and drag them away to kill them in isolation. The Claws is basically a ceiling-mounted hunter mixed with a jockey, and that makes him absolutely terrifying in enclosed spaces, but manageable in open areas. Key survival principle: look up. Seriously, humans have a natural tendency to look forward and down when moving. The Claws exploits this. In any building, warehouse, tunnel, or indoor space, you need to be constantly checking the ceiling. Use a flashlight. If you see anything moving up there, you light it up immediately. On the other hand, you want to stay in environments where he can't use his ceiling advantage. Open streets, fields, areas with no overhead cover, bright, well-lit spaces where shadows can't hide him. These are your safe zones. If there's nothing above you for him to cling to, he's just another infected you can see coming. If the Claws drops on you from above, you have maybe 1 second before he drags you away. This is where a knife or hatchet saves your life. Keep a blade accessible at all times, not in a backpack, not in a sheath on your ankle, but somewhere you can grab it instantly. When he grabs you, you stab repeatedly at whatever's holding you. If he does drag you away, remember, his goal is isolation. He wants you away from your group so he can kill you without interference. Always stick close with your team. Never split up or go alone. Fight like hell to stay near your teammates. Grab onto door frames, dig your heels in, do anything to slow him down and give your group time to react. B tier. The Ratman is a grotesque infected with rats living inside his body, bursting from his stomach and mouth. When he releases them, the swarm engulfs survivors and causes continuous damage until someone helps brush them off. Okay, this is where things get genuinely terrifying. The Ratman might have been cut from the game, but if he existed in real life, he'd be an absolute nightmare. Here's the thing about rats. They're fast, they're aggressive when cornered, and they can fit through any gap larger than their skull. A swarm of dozens or potentially hundreds of rats pouring out of a zombie and crawling all over you? That's panic-inducing on a primal level. First, let's talk prevention. The Ratman would likely look visibly different from other infected. Bloated stomach, visible movement under his skin, maybe even rats crawling on him externally. If you see anything like that, you maintain maximum distance. This is not a close-quarters enemy. Best weapons against the Ratman. Fire. Rats hate fire. A Molotov cocktail or flamethrower would not only kill the Ratman, but scatter or incinerate his swarm before they can attack. This is your #1 defense. Explosives. Grenades, pipe bombs, anything with a wide area of effect. You want to eliminate both the host and the rats simultaneously. Shotguns. The spread pattern is perfect for hitting multiple rats at once if the swarm is released. If you somehow get swarmed despite your best efforts, here's your emergency protocol. Don't panic and start swatting randomly. You'll just tire yourself out. Rats are biting you, but unless we're talking about infected rats carrying disease, you're not going to die in the next 30 seconds. Get to water if possible. Rats can swim, but they hate it. A lake, river, or even a swimming pool. Submerge yourself and they'll abandon you. Use fire still. If you have a lighter, start swatting rats into it. They'll learn quickly to avoid you. Heavy clothing is your friend. Leather jackets, thick jeans, boots. Rats have to work much harder to bite through those. The absolute worst-case scenario is getting swarmed in an enclosed space with no fire, no water, and no help. At that point, you're relying on physically crushing rats and enduring bites until the swarm disperses. It's survivable, but you're going to have a very bad time. A tier. The Meatwall is a massive infected, maybe around 20 feet tall and probably over 6,000 pounds. He's covered in blood, carries headless corpses, and might throw them as projectiles. His bloated stomach suggests he could explode on death. Let's be honest, if a 20-foot-tall cannibal zombie is charging at you, your survival strategy is run. This is not a fight you win with hand-to-hand combat. This is not even a fight you win with small arms. The Meatwall is essentially a super tank. Everything that makes the tank dangerous applies here, but worse. However, the Meatwall has some exploitable weaknesses. His sheer size and weight work against him. He'd likely weigh over 6,000 pounds, making him too heavy for most structures. Second-story floors would collapse under him. Bridges might buckle. You can use this to your advantage. Lure him onto unstable ground and let physics do your work. Something that massive cannot move quickly. It's basic physics. The larger you are, the more energy required for movement. The Meatwall would be slow, probably slower than you can jog. Outrunning him is your primary survival tactic. He's also a huge target. That means even amateur shooters can hit him. The problem is that you need serious firepower to bring him down. Heavy explosives like RPGs or grenade launchers would be your best bet. You need explosive force to damage something this massive. High-caliber rifles like .50 caliber rounds could work if you aim for the head or joints. Molotovs would be particularly effective. If the Meatwall is as bloated as concept art suggests, he's basically a giant fuel tank. Light him up and retreat. If he throws infected corpses at you like projectiles, treat them like incoming grenades. Dive for cover, don't try to catch or deflect them. A headless body thrown by something that strong could break bones on impact. And if you kill him and he explodes like a giant boomer, you better be far away. That much infected bile or acid would be lethal in close range. This is a boss fight. Don't fight him unless you absolutely have to. If you hear heavy footsteps or see buildings shaking, go the other direction. S tier. So, how would you rank these cut infected? Which one would you most want to see actually implemented in the game? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know how to survive the other Left 4 Dead infected in real life, or if you want to learn more about the cut infected and their development history, I've got videos covering all of that. Check out the playlist in the description. If you enjoyed this survival guide, drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching.